Ladies and gentlemen, the first agenda for today is the opening session. I would like to invite Associate Professor Dr. Prakop Kunarat, the Dean of the Graduate School of Eastern Asia University, for his welcoming remarks, following by the opening remarks by Ajahn Thamrung Kamjitiwat, the Vice Chancellor of Eastern Asia University Council. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Associate Professor Dr. Prakop Kunarat.
Good morning, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great pleasure and honor that I welcome you all to the 9th International Conference on Clean Asia and Sustainability Forum. This conference serves as a platform for scholars, researchers, and experts in the field of sustainable development to share their ideas, knowledge, and exchange discussions. This year's conference will focus on the theme of inclusive and equitable quality education management for remote working and sustainable development in the next normal. As we continue to navigate through this unprecedented time, we recognize the need for a more inclusive and equitable education system. Therefore, this conference aims to provide a space for discussion on how we can manage education inclusively, adaptively, and responsibly to diverse working communities and promote sustainable development practices. The objectives of the conference is to bring together diverse experts from various fields to share their perspectives, their insights, and research findings related to sustainable development practices in education, whilst acting as a platform that serves as a research forum for academics, researchers, professionals, administrators, teachers, and students, both Thai and foreigners, from public and private sectors, as well as international organizations on various fields. We hope that through these discussions, we can identify the challenges and opportunities in promoting inclusive and equitable education that promotes sustainability. Furthermore, this conference will serve as a platform to facilitate collaboration between academics, policymakers, and practitioners to develop innovative and practical solutions to the challenges we face in promoting sustainable development practices in education. I hope that the outcomes of this conference will contribute to the development of strategy and policies that promote sustainable and equitable education. In closing, the presence of many distinguished keynote speakers, experts, and specialists from the public and private sectors in attendance is a testament to the importance of this conference. I am confident that the discussions and knowledge sharing that will take place during this conference will contribute significantly to the ongoing effort toward the sustainable development. I am delighted to invite Mr. Thamrung Kamjitiwat, representative of the President of Eastern Asia University, to deliver his opening remarks for this conference. Once again, I extend my warmest welcome to all of you and look forward to the insightful and productive session. Thank you.
Dr. Atapon Sankawasi, the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Education. Ms. Iwona Spitkowski, Team Leader, Development Coordination Officer and Strategic Planning of the UN Resident Coordinator's Office in Thailand. Dr. Ahmad Wichak Sono, Education and Cultural Attaché, Embassy of the Republic of Indonesia in Thailand. Dr. Nokia Sasaki, Department Head of National Resources Management, Asian Institute of Technologies, AIT. Ms. Chulada Mijun, Deputy Director General of TPQI, the Thailand Professional Qualification Institute. Associate Professor Dr. Suchitra Leung Amornler, Thailand Nursing and Midwifery Council, TNMC. Distinguished committee members, distinguished audiences, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to extend my sincerest apology on behalf of the President of Eastern Asia University, Dr. Chotirat Chawne, who unfortunately cannot be with us today for being affected by COVID-19. He deeply regrets not being able to participate in this auspicious event. Nevertheless, he sent his best wishes for a fruitful conference that increases awareness among school directors, academics, teachers, and scholars regarding inclusive and equitable quality education management for diverse working and sustainable development in the next normal. Ladies and gentlemen, I stand before you today to extend a warm welcome to all of you at the 9th International Conference on Green Asia and Sustainability Forum. On behalf of Eastern Asia University Council and our esteemed co-hosts, I express my deepest appreciation for your presence and active participation in this event. Today, we gather here to acknowledge the ongoing efforts of Eastern Asia University in addressing the crucial issues of inclusive and equitable quality education management for diverse working and sustainable development on the next normal. Our university is committed to remaining at the forefront of these topics and fostering meaningful change. Together, we aim to create a platform for exchanging ideas and promoting collaborations that will drive us towards a sustainable future. I am delighted to see such a diverse audience comprising scholars, researchers, and experts in the field of sustainable development, both nationally and internationally. I would like to extend my gratitude to all the participants, organizers, and sponsors who have contributed to the success of this event. Let us seize the opportunity to engage in fruitful discussions, forge new partnerships, and collectively work towards our shared goals. Inclusive and equitable quality education management is crucial to realizing the vision of inclusive education. Empowering teachers with the necessary tools and resources is essential for creating inclusive learning environments. By providing education with the knowledge and support they need, we can foster a culture of inclusivity, respect, and understanding in classrooms. This involves employing teaching methods that cater to diverse learning styles and leveraging technology to personalize learning experiences. Moreover, educational institutions must recognize and support non-formal education learners, including those pursuing vocational training or lifelong learning opportunities. By acknowledging and embracing diverse pathways of education, we can ensure that individuals have access to quality learning experiences beyond traditional academic settings. Sustainable development is equally important to ensure that education remains accessible, equitable, and sustainable in the long run. By integrating sustainable practices such as energy efficiency, waste reduction, and environmental education, we instill a sense of environmental responsibility and foster a generation that values and cares for the planet. As we navigate the transition into the next normal, it is crucial to embrace innovation and technology while upholding our core values of inclusivity, equity, and sustainability in our education systems. These values are fundamental in creating a more just and equitable society where everyone has an equal opportunity to achieve their full potential. By upholding these principles, we can build a future where education serves as a powerful catalyst for positive change and empower individuals to contribute meaningfully to society. Ladies and gentlemen, I would also like to draw your attention to the importance of environmental, social, and governance (ESG) principles in modern business and organizational practices. ESG represent three fundamental factors that organizations must consider to operate sustainably and responsibly, ultimately mitigating risks and increasing long-term value. Environmental factors involve an organization's impact on the national environment. Social factors pertain to the relationship between an organization and the society it operates within and governance factors, encompass the policies, procedures, and systems that ensure ethical and transparent operations. The adoption of ESG practices has gained substantial momentum globally, with organizations recognizing the need to address environmental challenges, uphold social responsibilities, and maintain sound governance practices. Collaboration with industry, government, regulators, and central banks has further enhanced the impact of ESG principles. Within the context of schools, the ESG movement presents a unique opportunity to elevate environmental awareness and sustainability efforts. By integrating ESG principles into strategic decision-making processes, schools can operate sustainably, responsibly, and effectively, leading to the long-term growth and success. Artificial intelligence, AI, has a powerful potential to make significant contributions to ESG goals. AI can facilitate efficient monitoring and management of natural resources, address society challenges, personalize learning experiences, and promote transparency and accountability in governance. Leading companies have successfully integrated AI into their ESG strategies, using it to track and reduce carbon footprints, monitor supplier sustainability practices, improve energy efficiency, and enhance transparency and accountability. However, it is important to acknowledge the potential negative effects of AI on ESG. Increased energy consumption, job displacement, and ethical challenges are some concerns that need to be addressed. Striking a balance between the positive and negative effects of AI on ESG requires a comprehensive approach that prioritizes sustainability, social equity, and ethical considerations. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish to express immense gratitude to our co-hosts, the Office of the Basic Education Commission, the Office of the Vocational Education Commission of the Non-Formal and Informal Education, and Thailand Professional Qualification Institute. Their support and collaboration have been instrumental in making this conference a resounding success. I urge all of us to continue working together towards inclusive and equitable quality education management for diverse working and sustainable development in the next normal. By doing so, we can ensure that education remains a powerful force for positive change in our society. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, I wish to extend the President of Eastern Asia University gratitude and best wishes for a fruitful and insightful journey ahead. Thank you.
stage is ready. So, without further ado, it is my honor to introduce our first keynote speaker, Dr. Anthapon Sangkhawasi, the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Education. Dr. Anthapon Sangkhawasi holds doctorate degree in Educational Administration and Leadership. He has a long educational administration experience in vocational education before becoming the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Education. Today, he will give a talk on equitable quality education for sustainable development. If you have any question for him, there are microphones on each side of the room, but please wait until the end of his presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Dr. Anthapon Sangkhawasi.
Thank you, Raj. Good morning, everybody. Associate Professor Dr. Pachua Kunala, Dean of Graduate School of Eastern Asia University. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Dr. Anthapon Sangkhawasi, the Permanent Secretary of Ministry of Education of Thailand. I am honored to be invited here today to deliver a keynote presentation on equitable quality education for sustainable development. I will begin by reviewing Thailand priority policies. After that, I will provide some detail on early childhood education. Then, I will cover barrier of inclusion. Next, I will provide some information on Tibet. And finally, I will conclude with teacher education. Beginning with Thailand priority policies, Thailand has continuously placed high priority on education as is fundamental to human resource development and the development of the country as a whole. We aim to achieve a developed education system in line with the 20-year national strategy and the current national scheme of education. We support the key point proposed by the United Nations for transforming education. We believe the education system should empower youth with the essential knowledge and skill to become quality global citizens. We also support the move to digital transformation as well as enabling learners to navigate the world of fast evolving technologies and change with confidence based on a learner-centered approach. Digital learning and the safe use of digital technology and artificial intelligence will also be priorities. Move on to early childhood education. Early childhood education has been given top priority for educational development. As the development of our youth is essential for sustainable development. In light of this, we have been developing early childhood information systems and databases. These systems and databases will facilitate the relevant agencies with better policies, decision making, and proper utilization processes, especially in partnerships with organizations such as UNICEF. We have also focused on the monitoring process for the implementation of early childhood education. In addition to this, more research has been conducted on provision of learning experience based on bilingual and multilingual education and core competency development so school leaders can better follow national standard for early childhood care. Development and education and come up with policy recommendations. Teacher to this, we have mobilized early childhood development in line with the Early Childhood Development ECD Plan 2021 to 2027. Now, I will discuss value of inclusion. The Thai government has balanced educational provision to address barrier of inclusion under the 20 years National Education Plan and the National Reform Plan in Education for Human Resources Capacity Building. Starting from kindergarten to upper secondary levels, the 15 years pre-basic education program has continued for 5 categories including instructions, textbook, learning skill, learning kits, school uniform, and learner development activities. Next, I will provide some info on Tibet. Tibet is very important as its healthy plant used for the world of work. The Thai Ministry of Education has been focusing on technical and vocational education and training to meet the country labor market needs and achieve the senior education agenda. In relation to this, 25 Thai vocational schools and institutes were categorized as excellence centers with management potential in subject corresponding in specified professional group in were selected to be the Center of Vocational Manpower Network Management. We have additionally established Dual Vocational Education Center, Dual Vocational Center, DVEC, in 50 regional areas to help stakeholders in all the sectors understand how to process dual vocational education as well as databases systems. Now, on to teacher education. Teacher education is very important for sustainable development as teachers prepare our children for their future lives and careers. To future develop teachers, we have begun to develop projects that are set to begin next year that will enhance teacher education. Over 20,000 teachers and educational personnel will be giving training in AI to support active learning for students. We will also support learning for all in digital transformation, as well as helping learners to adapt to a world of fast evolving technologies and shape with confidence. Digital learning and the safe use of digital technology and artificial intelligence will also to prioritize by teachers in terms of teacher capacity building. The Ministry of Education has set up a 3-year plan. Training focuses on increasing knowledge and skills for teachers. In line with digital skill, we help support teachers when they are required to change their role in order to effectively use these new technologies in their classroom and daily lessons. We have also set up the Human Capital Excellence Management Center, SCEC, for strengthening teachers, educators, and educational personnel capacity through online classroom training focusing on foreign language skills, digital skills, and other relevant skills. All this ensure our teachers are well prepared for training our youth to ensure a sustainable future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Apapun. We're grateful for your valuable talk. For the next session, I would like to introduce to you Ms. Ivana Spitkowski. She is the team leader, development coordination officer, and strategic planning of the UN Resident Coordinator Office in Thailand. She has been working with the United Nations on interagency coordination and change management in different offices in many countries. Today, Ms. Spitkowski will share with us the Sustainable Development Goals in practice towards 2030. May we please welcome Ms. Ivana Spitkowski.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for this opportunity to speak to you today on some perspectives for SDG acceleration. In a recently released SDG progress report, the Secretary General warns us that the global premise of the 2030 agenda is in danger because of insufficient progress, and we are not delivering on the member state commitments. He's calling for a rescue for the people and planet through green financing, reductions in poverty, and elimination of inequalities. I am very grateful to the Eastern Asia University and all of the partners for hosting this international forum and drawing on the expertise from diverse sectors of society on achieving the SDGs with a specific focus on education. It is an honor to join you in looking at good practices. In my remarks, I want to set the stage by outlining the case for rescuing the SDGs, set out the progress in Asia Pacific and in Thailand, and then zoom in on education with respect to social SDG progress. Against this background, I will be also outline the Secretary General's pathway for accelerating the SDGs through Our Common Agenda and its associated high-level initiatives, as well as I will end by sharing some high-impact initiative accelerators from the UN in Thailand and how we're contributing towards acceleration. To my first point, we are midway to the UN's 2030 agenda, and in a very different geopolitical context than when the goals were adopted. We see increased tensions. The multilateral system is questioned in terms of fairness and ability to deliver on our commitments. And now post-pandemic recovery has been hindered by the conflict in Ukraine. Already, we know that more than 30% of SDG targets are in reverse. They're not only not progressing, 30% of targets are in reverse. And we know that another 50% are weak and insufficient. The Human Development Index, which measures the country's development based on health, education, and standard of living, has declined for the first time in 2 years. Since the existence of the Human Development Index, it has declined 2 years in a row for the first time ever. This is quite significant. By the numbers, the index score of 90% of countries declined in 2020 or 2021, and more than 40% declined in both years for all countries. Ladies and gentlemen, this equates to the equivalent of 10 years of regression on progress. And we are midway point to the 2030 agenda. Compounding this issue is the $4.2 trillion funding gap for the Sustainable Development Goals. And this is up from $2.5 trillion prior to the pandemic. And this is data according to the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. To turn this around, acceleration and whole society partnerships are required. I would like to move on to my next point, and I will be focusing on providing a brief snapshot on SDG progress in Asia Pacific and Thailand. I will be drawing data from the UN Economic and Social Commission of Asia and the Pacific, located right here in Bangkok, and the recently released 2023 SDG Progress Report. And with so many distinguished people in the room, I very much encourage you to go on the website and to download the 2023 SDG Progress Report, which highlights progress on the SDGs in Asia Pacific as it may support you in your research and your work. So, starting with Asia and the Pacific, only 14.4% of overall progress towards SDG attainment in the region has been made. Not 14.4% has been reached. And this is progress where at the midpoint to the reaching of the SDGs, we should be closer to 50%, right? But we're just inching towards 15% of progress. At this current pace, the region will miss 90% of measurable SDG targets unless efforts are multiplied. 1 in 5 SDG targets is regressing and needs complete trend reversal. Significant work is ahead of us. The strongest progress has been made on goals 7 and 9 for affordable and clean energy, as well as industry, innovation, and infrastructure. In other promising news, decent work and economic growth, reduced inequalities, as well as partnership are progressing now since 2016. However, the bad news is that for Asia Pacific, climate change, or Goal 13, continues not only to progress, but to regress. And this has not been given priority in the region. In moving on to Thailand and its progress on the SDGs, I'm happy to say progress in Thailand has been more robust as compared to other countries in the region and even globally. Thailand is unique in that it mandates SDG acceleration, including at the constitutional level. So the commitment is very, very deep. Thailand is also one of 5 countries in the region that has the most data available, or 61% of data is available for SDG measurement. With respect to progress, 42% of SDG indicators in Thailand are on track. That's inching up towards the 50%. 33% need acceleration, but very unfortunately, 1/4 or 25% of SDG indicators in Thailand are actually regressing. Now, before I move on to what we're doing about this, I wanted to spend just a minute or two in speaking a little bit about the SDG education Goal 4, both for Asia Pacific and the Thailand. And as we know, Goal 4 promotes inclusive and equitable quality education and promotes lifelong learning opportunities for all. In Asia Pacific, progress for most indicators unfortunately cannot be measured due to the lack of data. This includes effective learning, employability skills, adult literacy, education facilities, scholarships, and several other indicators. Progress has reversed for equal access to education and requires acceleration for early childhood development and tertiary education in Asia Pacific. In Thailand, it is promising that 2030 targets have actually been reached with respect to the net enrollment rate, proportion of schools being offering basic services, and teacher training. The targets requiring greatest attention in Thailand include reading proficiency and ICT skills, as these are in regression. When I was doing research for this, I thought the ICT skill regression was interesting and unusual for Thailand. Given that this is the outlook on the SDGs and the general state of affairs in very succinct manner, what are we doing about this? What is the world doing about this, and how is the UN taking leadership on this? The UN has set in motion the Secretary General's Our Common Agenda, and for all the young people in the room, I urge you to Google this, and then certainly to visit our social media to look this up. This is a pathway for accelerating a better future for you all. The Our Common Agenda, or Vision for Revamped Global Cooperation and Effective Multilateralism, is meant to address the gains that we've lost. This is an agenda of action. Firstly, it establishes a new global deal to redistribute power and resources. This is in the interest of humanity and not money markets. Secondly, it focuses on meaningful engagement with the world's young people and future generations. There are plans now in place, and a UN Youth Office has been established with the highest level of attention to engagement with youth at the UN headquarters. Thirdly, it calls for urgent action and protection on global commons such as our oceans, the atmosphere, and outer space. It also calls on us to protect our public goods, such as our planet, peace science, and digital governance, amongst others. We heard other speakers speak about AI and the space that's interesting there, where we can have lots of gains, but also lots of risk. Lastly, our common agenda is upgrading the United Nations. We're going to get a United Nations 2.0, so that the UN is fit for purpose, more relevant, and can offer system-wide solutions for the challenges of the 21st century. The latest development in the Common Agenda is the SG Summit, which will be hosted in New York in September of this year, and the Secretary General will convene with the heads of state to agree on the best way forward for sustainable development, inclusion, and poverty eradication. The summit will culminate into an actionable oriented declaration and further commitments. The SG Summit must energize efforts to implement these visionary agreements and lay path to a successful Summit of the Future, which will be happening in 2024. In lead up to the SG Summit at the national level, member states are called on to communicate their national pathways for SG transformation. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not to say that countries don't have pathways. We have them. They're just not that effective, as we have seen, as the data tells us. So this is a call on member states to reinvigorate and examine the national pathways for SDG transformation with a particular focus on those SDGs and reprioritization of those SDGs that are not on track in country. Member states are also encouraged to set national benchmarks to reduce poverty against national levels, national poverty lines. This is critical, as under current trajectory, 1/3 of countries will meet the target to have national poverty by 2030. Only 1/3 of countries will meet that goal. Lastly, member states at the national level are also requested to strengthen existing institutional arrangements for SDG acceleration. And again, arrangements exist, but strengthening of them is required. Some examples of how this could be done is aligning domestic budgets with the SDGs, strengthening private sector regulatory frameworks in line with sustainable development objectives, and strengthening local and subnational government capacities to advance the SDGs. In addition, countries are encouraged to aim for at least 90% of target data being available for the SDGs in the near future. At the global level, it is recognized that developing countries are bearing the worst burden of global inaction, leaving the most vulnerable with fewer options and resources to reach the SDGs. To address such imbalances and in line with the Addis Ababa Action Agenda and elsewhere in many other agreements and commitments, developed countries are encouraged to scale up ODA commitments, suspend pending debt payments, deliver climate financing commitments, and align trade policies with the SDGs, among other actions they can do. These national and global commitments to SDG transformation are critical to our rescue plan and require attention at the highest level of member states. The summit aims to rally member states around some high-impact initiatives which have been vetted this year ahead of the summit to reduce poverty, inequality, hunger, and getting 2030 agenda back on track. This includes the Transformation Education Summit, the SDG Stimulus, which proposes reforms on global financing architecture in support of developing countries to address the financing gap in developing countries, the Climate Acceleration Agenda, Food System Transformation, Digital Compact, and the Accelerator on Social Protection and Jobs. Ladies and gentlemen, given this energized environment for action to accelerate the SDGs globally, I want to briefly share with you some examples of how SDG acceleration is happening on the ground in Thailand with UN support. As you know, Thailand is a leader in ASEAN, Sustainable Development Cooperation, and the Biocircular Green Model provides a perfect template for sustainable low-carbon growth and leaving no one behind. This is in alignment with the SDGs and Thailand's own sufficiency economy philosophy. In the run-up to the SDG Summit, the UN system in the country, with our 21 agencies, is repositioning itself to offer thought leadership, global expertise, and to leverage our convening power. SDG acceleration in country implies transformation of scale, pace, in support of development goals through effective policies, innovation, and partnerships. It means moving beyond program pilots, and we are exploring high-impact initiatives on our own to accelerate the SDGs, especially scaling up those SDGs that are off track in Thailand. To exemplify this point, I hope you will indulge me for me to share just 3 examples of UN's SDG high-impact initiative, which are addressing SDG 4 indicators that require acceleration, including on ICT skills, early childhood development, and also equal access to education. With respect to ICT skills, access to quality learning has become a key component of our basic human rights. UNESCO is addressing inclusive digital learning. This directly contributes to the Transforming Education Summit commitments in Thailand and SDG 4 indicators, while acknowledging that digital learning has a multiplier effect to accelerate the achievement of other targets. And that's the beauty of the SDGs, the multiplier effect. UNESCO is developing inclusive digital education policies that are targeted to reach the most marginalized learners and enhance their digital citizenship competencies. An estimated 300,000 learners across the country will develop digital skills for employability and lifelong learning through this initiative, while another 500 users, including vulnerable migrant children, will have daily digital school online lesson access. Dr. Atapol, the current secretary, already spoke about early childhood education, and I wanted and mentioned UNICEF partnership on this, and so I will present a little bit from our perspective. UNICEF is addressing early childhood education by leading on policies to increase the access and supply of high-quality care for all children. Our ongoing work includes the mapping of existing early child care services, best practices by the private sector for family-friendly policies in the workplace, costing a child care plan, including the sub-national level. This intervention accelerates early childhood development and has a multiplier effect on SDG 3 on health and well-being as well. Equal access to education for migrant workers is led by IOM, or the International Organization for Migration, and we are scaling up skills development opportunities for migrant workers in Thailand, directly contributing to off-track indicators of youth and employability skills. This is particularly key as Thailand has become a super-age society, as I'm sure you are all aware. The working age share of the population is projected to decline to 56% in 2060. Ladies and gentlemen, in a little over 35 years from now, the working age share of population in Thailand is projected to decline by 56%, or to 56%. This is quite significant and has a definite direct impact on Thailand's economic growth. And this furthermore highlights the significance of migrant workers for Thailand's economy. This initiative focuses on better occupational safety and health standards within Thai companies, and IOM is also conducting a national digital skills assessment of migrant workers. This initiative already reached 7,000 migrant workers through skills trainings and certification, and including for over 1,000 employers in Thailand. And actually, it was such a success story that it is being scaled up in ASEAN countries as a result. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time today. I would like to surmise that through the care and scrutiny of the global community on the SDGs and the various vehicles facilitated by the UN and member states to accelerate, we are very well positioned to succeed in the final stretch to 2030. We have 7 years remaining. And the promises that we have made for people and the planet. I just wanted to add that I agree with Dr. Pragop in his opening remarks that the outcomes of this conference will definitely contribute significantly to sustainable development. So I wish you all fruitful discussions today and look forward to joining you in them. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Spikowski, for sharing with us the SDGs current progress and achievement. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions for Kuliwala, please grab a microphone. Both of you, yes, please.
Yeah, Adriano Marao from the Business Department of the University. My question is about, we know that Thailand has some issues in terms of education equity, also learning poverty. So how could sustainable development goals help to mitigate these issues? More specifically, is there any specific project, recent project that addresses these issues? That's basically my question.
Thank you so much, sir, for your question. And I've just spoken a little bit about education inequality, and I've given you the stats for that. There is little progress on that indicator, actually. Leaving no one behind is at the core of the UN's work. And SDG Accelerator initiatives that I shared are targeted at vulnerable populations. Our work with migrant, with children, with youth with disabilities, and so on. And in addition, I wanted to share that the UN is definitely investing in human capital development through our learning and skills development, youth employability in Thailand. Coincidentally, just next week, the UN system in Thailand is getting together in a forum to discuss our respective work on youth employability and skills, so that we understand across as a system where we are working and what our gaps are, so that we can further improve our work in accelerating youth employability in Thailand. I wanted just to maybe give you some stats to kind of set the stage. The youth unemployment rate in Thailand is 5.1% according to the NSO, while the overall labor unemployment rate is 0.6%. We have an aging society, 0.6% unemployment. Youth unemployment, 5.1%. 33% of surveyed youth are concerned about the future, and they are experiencing mental health issues as a result. This is a very serious next pandemic. In a recent UNICEF study, 40% of respondents, and we had 55,000 person sample, aged 10 to 25, said that they feel the current education system does not prepare them very well for the job market. And this is an area that we'd like to address. And furthermore, in looking at who's being left behind, 200,000 migrant children are out of school. Youth not in education, employment or training. The rate is 15.2%. And this is the next statistic really disheartened me. 38% of children with disabilities are out of school. That really needs to be addressed. And what are we doing about it in Thailand? I had already mentioned some of the initiatives by IOM for migrant workers, and UNESCO for digital literacy of the most vulnerable, including the people that are displaced along the border. But I'd like to share a couple of more. ILO is providing demand-led employability training to disadvantaged youth, and is considering the skills demand in the provincial labor market as well, for the needs of local youth, so not just focusing on Capital Central. UNDP has a really cool initiative called the Youth Collab program, and it's a platform to incubate youth-led social entrepreneurs. The Youth Collab, again, encourage you all to look us up, is an extremely powerful program that is led by youth, for youth, and solutions are found by this demographic, which is providing this space. We are enhancing, UNDP is enhancing employability skills of youth with disabilities on their digital communication and financial literacy. And on the market end, UNDP is actually working with companies towards making employment of young people with disabilities a reality for their companies and making an inclusive work environment. UNICEF just launched an in-depth study on to inform policy on youth in education, not in education, employment, and training. And again, I encourage you to access that at the UNICEF Thailand website. It's a really powerful study on youth not in education, employment, or training that's just been launched earlier this year. And I think with that, I will end. Thank you so much.
Is there any other question from the floor? If not, then thank you very much for the question. And once again, thank you very much to Leona. My sincere gratitude and appreciation for joining us today. And now it is a privilege to introduce our next keynote speaker, Associate Professor Dr. Ahmad Wicaksono. With his educational background in civil engineering with special emphasis on transportation system, Associate Professor Dr. Wicaksono was a professor in the Faculty of Engineering and had prominent positions while he was in his teaching career, such as the head of Civil Engineering Department, University of Brawijaya, and later on the Vice Dean of Academic Affairs. Now he has taken the position of the Education and Culture Attaché of the Embassy of Indonesia in Thailand. Today he will share with us how lifelong education can create new pathways for sustainable and inclusive development. Please join me in welcoming Associate Professor Dr. Ahmad Wicaksono.
Good morning, Sawadika. First of all, I would like to give an honor to Dr. Bambung as the University Council Committee and Dr. Prakoop Gunarak as the Dean of Graduate School and all the participants in this occasion. So I would like to introduce myself, maybe before it's already introduced, but I start working as the Education and Culture Attaché in the Indonesian Embassy from March 2021. And before I was working as the Associate Professor in Civil Engineering in Brawijaya University in Malang. And before I was also worked as the chairman for the Institute for Education Development and Quality Assurance. That's why I was involved with the education. So most of the people ask how a civil engineer can become the attaché of education. Because mostly the attaché of education come from the background of education and culture even. But for me, as the civil engineer, I work now as the education attaché. Actually, it is an honor for me to stand before you to discuss the topic that is very important. It's about the lifelong education. How this lifelong education creating the new pathways for sustainable and inclusive development. Yeah, in a world like right now, which is characterized by the rapid changes, growing complexities, and persistent inequalities, the role of lifelong education in shaping a sustainable and inclusive future cannot be overstated. So now I would like to introduce my topic of the presentation. First with the introduction, and then second about how the lifelong education will give the pathways for sustainable development. And the third one, how the lifelong education will give the pathway for inclusive development. And the fourth one is our experience. This is related to the inclusive, which is what we would like to share with you on the disability education development at the Universitas Brawijaya, where I worked before as the chairman for the education development and quality assurance institute. And then lastly by conclusion. So in the introduction, I would like to refer about the lifelong education, which is maybe the idea that learning and education are not limited to formal schooling or a specific period of time in a person's life. Instead, it emphasizes continuous learning and personal development throughout one's lifetime. So before, Ms. Iwana already said that the son of the respondent of the Thai worker, they say that the basic education is not giving enough skill for the work right now. That's why the lifelong education was needed. The concept of lifelong education recognizes that learning is a lifelong process and that individuals can benefit from acquiring new knowledge, skill, and competencies at any stage of their lives. Therefore, lifelong education can take various forms. For example, as you are now attending a seminar, conference, or workshop, this also you can call as the part of lifelong education. Or maybe you pursue the further education, or you join the training program, or you can engaging in the self-directed learning, learn by your own, and then participating in an online learning courses, or even you can learn from social media, like YouTube. You can join the conference, you can join the seminar, you can join the discussion on YouTube. So the goal is to encourage individuals to actively seek opportunities for personal growth, professional development, and intellectual enrichment throughout their lives. Now I would like to share what I thought on the topic that I have to deliver here. First, how the lifelong education will create the pathways for sustainable development. So, first is maybe by creating awareness and enhancing understanding. Lifelong education fosters a deeper understanding of sustainability issues such as climate change, environmental degradation, social inequality, and economic challenges. It equips individuals with the knowledge and awareness necessary to recognize the interconnectedness of these issues and their impact on present and future generations. The second, maybe through promoting sustainable mindset and behavior. The lifelong education provides individuals with the tools and information to make informed decisions, engage in sustainable practices, and contribute to positive change in their lives and communities. Therefore, lifelong learners are more likely to embrace environmentally friendly practices, conserve resources, and support sustainable initiatives. The third one is developing sustainable skill and competencies. The lifelong education offers opportunities to develop skill and competencies that are essential for sustainable development. Therefore, Lifelong learner can acquire expertise in areas such as renewable energy, conservation, sustainable agriculture, waste management, and urban planning. So by seeing the YouTube, for example, we can see how the other people in other countries do for sustainability. Then we can adapt with our situation. Maybe we can do also the same thing to do sustainable development in our area. The fourth one is fostering innovation and adaptability. Lifelong learners are more likely to develop innovative solutions to sustainability challenges, contribute to research and development, and adapt to evolving needs of society. Sometimes it's only graduates from senior high school, but they have the problem in their village, and then they learn by themselves. Maybe they read in Google, by Googling, seeing in YouTube, then they have idea, they have innovation, how to solve the sustainable problem in their village. Supporting sustainable entrepreneurship and industries. So, lifelong education can inspire and support the emergence of sustainable entrepreneurship and industries, promoting the acquisition of business skills and sustainable management practices that enables individuals to create and lead enterprises that prioritize on environmental and social sustainability. The sixth is encouraging collaboration and partnership. Lifelong learners are more likely to engage in collaborative effort, share knowledge and resources, and work toward collective solutions. This will create interdisciplinary learning and cooperation opportunities, bringing together diverse perspectives to address the problem of sustainable development. The seventh, empowering active citizenship. The lifelong education empowers individuals to become active citizens, and they will become the agents of change by themselves. Lifelong learners are more likely to take leadership roles, influence policy agenda, and drive positive change locally, nationally, and even globally. Now, for the third part, I would like to explain my thinking about how the lifelong education will create the pathways for inclusive development. One is by promoting equal access to learning opportunities. Lifelong education promotes equal access to learning opportunities for all individuals, regardless of age, gender, socioeconomic background, or geographical location. So by providing inclusive learning opportunities, lifelong education helps ensure that everyone has the chance to develop their skill, knowledge, and potential. The second, addressing learning needs and diverse learners. Lifelong education supports the inclusion of marginalized groups, such as individuals with disabilities, the one that I will explain what we did in Universitas Brawijaya. And then it will cover also the ethnic minorities and those from disadvantaged background by addressing the specific learning needs and creating inclusive learning environment. The third one, empowerment and agency. Lifelong education empowers individuals by providing them with the tools, knowledge, and skill to take control of their own learning and development. Therefore, inclusive development will be promoted when individuals have the opportunity to shape their learning journeys and contribute to the development of inclusive policies and practices. The fourth one is recognizing prior learning and informal learning. This morning I have discussed with the TPQI, with the chair, about this recognized prior learning. So by recognizing and accrediting prior learning, lifelong education ensures that individuals are included and supported based on their non-traditional learning pathways. This approach promotes inclusivity by validating diverse learning experiences. Right now in Indonesia, the new Minister of Education, Mr. Nadiem Makarim, has promoted the freedom of learning. What we call in Indonesian word is curriculum merdeka. It means the freedom of learning, where teacher has to identify each of their students, what is their ability, how they learn, what we call as the learning by differentiating learning. Now we put emphasis to the teacher to observe the student and decide what should do and what the method of teaching that will be applied. The fifth one is enhancing social cohesion. So the lifelong education fosters social cohesion by bringing individuals from different backgrounds together in learning environment. Lifelong learning initiatives that promote intercultural understanding, respect for diversity. This is very important in our country, in Indonesia, because we have so many, not only islands, but also tribes, languages. That's why our Founding Father put unity in diversity. This is very, very, very important. And then the sixth one is reducing inequalities. So the inclusive development aims to reduce inequalities in society, providing lifelong learning opportunities, enable individuals to bridge the gap in different educational level and acquire new skills throughout their lives. So sometimes when we discuss with our neighbor, the background of education is not so important, but the knowledge is very important. That's why we push the lifelong education. Now I would like to discuss a little about our activity in Universitas Brawijaya. We did the disability education development start from year 2000, and we did some improvement on how this can be done. So to students with disability, what we can support the participation of students with disability in inclusive context. Then we did peer support in academic activities and peer tutor, additional courses, and final project, then capacity building, improving college readiness, and then sign language teaching training of trainer, and then sign language dictionary. So we do some training for lecturer and also the student. So we pay one student as a tutor for each disability student. So this is what we did. And then for the student without disability, we cultivate inclusive culture and disability awareness for the student, so they have more empathy to their friends who has disability. And for lecturers who teach students with disability, we need to support lecturers in providing accessible courses and training and webinars on inclusive class preparation, the guides on providing accessible course, and sign language training for lecturers. And lecturers who supervise students, we support the lecturers in supervising students with peer tutoring and sign language interpreter. That's why in year 2020, we got the award winner as the Zero Project from one of the United Nations related agency, which is in Vienna. At the time, Center for Disability Students and Services in Brawijaya, we got this recognition So as a conclusion, I would like to say that the lifelong education holds tremendous potential to create new pathways for sustainable and inclusive development. It equips us with the knowledge, skill, and mindset necessary to navigate the challenges of our time while fostering inclusivity, empowerment, and social cohesion. As we embrace lifelong learning, let us recognize its transformative power and commit ourselves to building a future where sustainability and inclusivity are at the core of our lifelong education endeavor. Thank you for your attention, and may we embark on this journey of lifelong education together, paving the way toward a sustainable and inclusive world for all. And as I've shown here, on the right-hand side, the education is not preparation for life, but education is life itself. Thank you. Especially thank you to Eastern Asia University in inviting me. And thank you Ajahn, Dr. Ashari for the discussion, and then also we hope that the President, Dr. Chotiras, will get well soon so that we can meet in a future moment. Probably I would like to have a discussion about the relation between East Asian University and Indonesian institution universities. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Associate Professor Dr. Richard Sunal, for the informative and comprehensive presentation. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, please go to the microphone. Yes, please.
So, the question is that lifelong learning can be expensive, or you need to have resources to be able to access some type of skill training or education. So, what, in your opinion, what would be the best way to support lifelong learning for the disadvantaged?
Okay, can I answer directly? Okay. Thank you very much for the question. I think it's a nice question. And when we say that how we can afford the lifelong learning, because sometimes they say that if you want to continue study, you will need more money. But actually, to promote lifelong learning, especially for poverty people, maybe we can do some effort, like, for example, through the community learning center or community learning initiative. The community-based learning initiative or community learning center can be established in collaboration with local organization or city library or even the community center. In Indonesia, we did like this through the community learning center, which is in villages. We developed some community learning center, and then there are some teachers who come and discuss with the member. The second thing, maybe through collaboration with non-profit organization. So maybe non-profit organization will support those who want to further studies or who want to continue their lifelong learning. Maybe they will support by buying the books or access to the internet, for example. This can be done by the collaboration with the non-profit organization. The third one may be, of course, government support and funding. So this government can give a support. Just like in our country, we have a car which is designed to be a library. They go to the village, and then the student in the village come and then borrow the book and read the book there, and then of course in another day they go to another village, something like that. So it's like a library, mobile library. And the other one, of course, actually through the open educational resources or digital learning online platform. Sometimes they offer free tuition for joining the course, something like that. And the last one maybe from finance, they look for, you can look for the financial assistance. The students who want to further studies, they can apply scholarships from several donors. I myself, before I was studied in AIT, Asian Institute of Technology. My master's is from AIT, and at that time I got the scholarship from the AIT. And then after that, again I am lucky. I got the scholarship to get my PhD in University of Tokyo by the scholarship from the Mobusu, from the Minister of Education in Japan. So we can do, actually, when there is a will, there is a way. Thank you.
Couldn't agree more. Thank you very much, Associate Professor Dr. Vivek Sono. We truly appreciate your presence here today. Moving right along to our next keynote speaker, Associate Professor Dr. Suchitra Leung Amorn-Lerth, the President of Thailand Nursing and Midwifery Council. Associate Professor Dr. Suchitra is not only well-versed in nursing profession, but she is also a knowledgeable scholar and educational administrator who has pushed forward the nursing education in Thailand and built up international academic network to strengthen the nursing profession. Associate Professor Dr. Suchitra, today she will share her experience and insights on the topic of nursing profession for sustainable development. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Associate Professor Dr. Suchitra Leung Amorn-Lerth.
Good morning, Professor Bangkung, and Kitimat, to share this international conference, distinguished keynote speakers, and distinguished guests of the conference. I am very pleased to come here and with a very important information to deliver, which is the role of nursing profession and the SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, which is now in the top years of the plan, because the SDG has been implemented for 15 years, and this is the second half, and we hope that our global citizens, our global administrative, global government would have to accelerate their own plans to reach these SDG goals by the year 2030. So we have 15 years more. And this year we just finished the WHA meeting, and we just finished it. And we got all the resolutions in relation to the achievement of SDGs in varieties of the resolutions. So especially this year, they put up the new pillars on health and well-being, the top pillar to discuss more and combine many resolutions of many global nursing global action plans, global action plans on the delivery, mother and child, and aging, and our under served population or something, so very important, and we kind of have to put this initiative in our plans in every profession, in every healthcare profession. So today, with a very 20 minutes, I will walk through what is the role of the nursing profession in Thailand in relation to the achievement in relation to the sustainable development goals. Thailand Nursing Council, established by the Professional Nursing and Midwifery Act in 1985, we are now 80 years of after establishment, so we reached like a mature professions, almost 4 decades already. So this act gives us the professional autonomy in terms of govern our own govern our education and the advancement of the nurse and midwife in Thailand. Our workforce today, in Thailand, we have 250,000 licensed nurses and midwives. This is very unique in Thailand that our curriculums, we train nurse midwives in the same program. So we license our Thai nurse as a nurse and midwife. Each year we have 12,000 newly licensed nurse midwives, and in the number of our students in undergraduate program, we have 36,000 nursing students in Thailand from year 2 to 4. It's about 33. This is, I put the numbers here because the student nurses also have a very plays important role as well in their practice, because in our curriculum, the clinical practice, we use the real situation. We go to the village, and our nursing students have put out the, we call it health promotion project in the village, and they actually implement that project as well. Under supervision of the instructor, and the outcome is favorable. We have a lot of appreciation from the village. And we have 100 and right now it's 104 nursing schools in Thailand. This means that we have 104 Bachelor of Nursing Science programs in Thailand that produce 12,000 newly graduates per year. So this kind of a very many of nursing school in Thailand. But still that, we should consider the shortage of nurse. We are able to produce one nurse, the nurse population ratio is about 1 to 370. That we will reach the standard nurse and population ratio identified by WHO, which is one nurse to 300 population for middle income country. So we think that another 5 years we will reach that one. But we have to retain the nurse in our systems. And on the right, we show about the advancement of our nursing profession in Thailand. We have a skill mix team using in the services. And this skill mix team is starting from the Bachelor of Nursing, graduate as nurse profession, nursing profession, and then they go up to the advanced practice nurse, which earn the equivalent to PhD program. For the faculty members, we have the regulation for the faculty member that starting from we recruit the faculty member from the master program up to the PhD program, and then they go to gain their academic grant in this system from assistant professor up to the professorship. And for the management, on the management side, we have also the advancement in the management position for nursing profession that we regulate or we support nurse to go up in their career by initiate, we call it the continuing education programs. Continuing education programs will help nurse to make the public assure that nurse will have the current knowledge and skills every 5 years, because we use the CPD training units to be used for their renew license. So every 5 years, nurse should get like 50 CABU to submit to the TNMC for their renewal. This assures the public that nurses in Thailand, they have the current knowledge and skills to provide safe practice and quality of services. This is in our regulation. The authority and responsibility of TNMC is spelled out we have 7 objectives and authorities to govern the profession in Thailand. So I will not bring it to the time, but in here. And with our work from 38 years, we have established, we have created the development in our professions. The first is we have accreditation of Nursing Institute. This accreditation institute means that all 104 nursing faculty or college in the university have to be accredited by the TNMC in order for the graduate to be able to get the license examination. For those faculty of nursing who are not passing, they will have to improve their qualities and then submit for the approval again. And second one, we established the Center for Continuing Education, Nursing Education, to provide we call it the training program for nurse to earn the CNEU. Right now we have like 40 training program for nursing specialty in Thailand. We have 40 programs, and we will revise it because after we need a new program for the new skills needed. And we established the College of Advanced Practice of Nursing to certify the advanced practice nurse that is equivalent to the PhD, to the doctoral graduate. This is the professional certification, advanced practice nurse. And KNMC has have to develop the national nursing and midwifery development plan according to the global nursing action plan that will relate all of us to the SDGs, to reach the SDGs in our plan. So we are already in the third plan that implemented up to 2020 now 28 นะครับ We also established the nurse competency standard at all levels. The standard of nursing service. We also established the standard of nursing service at all levels. We have clinical nursing practice guidelines proposed for the nation, and protecting the rights of the client and nurses by our nursing ethics committees. Ethical education and training. We just started the Center for Ethical Education and Training in our TNMC to ensure and increase nurse ethical and ethical knowledge and skills during this new era, because we have a changing world at this time, and we have to stress in terms of the ethical conduct and ethical decisions in our practice. And the last one that we started a few years ago, using our international collaborations, we established the leadership training programs in TNMC and started from that and we continue later. And we just got the message from the Dr. Amelia. He's now he's a position in WHO. He's a chief nurse officer of WHO. He confirmed to all nursing professions that nurse should amplify our voice. We need to have the same voice to the government to invest, protect, and strengthening the solution to reach universal health care coverage and the SDGs. So we are committed as a global nurse to talk to express this voice to the government of its own country. The second, we need to transform our care so our population feel value, respect, and compassion, and of course safe, quality, and care. And we always deliver. And scaling up our capacity for our functions. This is delivered this year for the delegates of nursing to WSA meeting this year. The next one is that nursing profession and sustainable development goals. This is second half, and we think that the SDG provide the strategic direction for all of us to meet the health needs of the people, which are always changing. We have new demands for care coming up. And society, ecological systems, and the growth. So the SDG that are related to nursing is SDG 3 that we have identified. 3, 4, 5, and as well as the 17 one which is collaboration or partnership or something. So we work together as a global nurse right now to plan and to be able to achieve the goal that has been set in each own country by these four SDGs, so four SDGs. So in Thailand, our profession continue to develop, expand our scope of priority in order to meet the real demands of individual families. We put families in our plan as well, and to the communities. Especially for Thailand, we now have the new acts related to the Primary Health Acts, Primary Health Care Acts. So we are really have to go to the community as an explicit one, as a new health system in Thailand for the community. Nurse probably continue to be at the forefront of health and well-being of our societies. SDG provide our strategic direction to meet the health needs of the people, and the key action steps of nurse is to localize the SDG to our professional environment and identify population needs, organization priorities, and select and relevant SDGs. As I mentioned, that we already select the 4-1 to our plan. This is the 3 and 4 of SDG goals. Sorry. And with the first one, SDG 3, good health and well-being. Nurses are indispensable to promoting health, prevention of disease, and managing NCDs, and providing end-of-life care at home settings. Provision of health and selection in provision of self-care, health and self-care information and education to all. This is our main strategic plan to make it within these 3 years, and we will prepare to report to the WHO in the next 2 years. Our target population that is very important in Thailand right now is maternal child health, maternal and infant care, and young children. And the second one is healthy aging. This is our two population. The first year of life, and then at the later life, this is our population of interest for better innovative care to reach the target. For example, in the infant care, our goal, our Thailand initiative goal for we will have the breastfeeding outcome. We would like breastfeeding to reach 50% of the mother and infant 50%. But right now it's almost 2 years already. We still get only 20%. We have 30% more to go. So we have to accelerate or energize our plan and our project or something like that. Especially for TNMC, we would like to revise our midwifery program or subjects in the Bachelor of Nursing program as well as in the Master program or APN training or something like that. So we have to take these 2 years to advance, to improve the percentage นะคะ of the breastfeeding in Thailand. This is just an example. นะคะ For the SDG 4, this one I think that it's very important to us because nursing education นะคะ really give the equality as well นะคะ for the young women in Thailand if they get into the nursing education so their future career would give you a very good position for them to raise their own life as well as their family. So nursing student recruiting in Thailand, we have 104 institutes spread all over Thailand. So nursing recruiting is especially because local recruiting. They recruit in their province and go back to work and then graduate and work in that province as well. But for the shortage, we still have the problem of the distribution. But the number is okay because we use skill mix and we produce, we call it practical nurse to team up with the professional nurse. So the service is still okay, but the number is okay, but the distribution that we have to go to look in the province that are lacking of nursing profession or something like that. So we put the quality education in terms of nurse perspective. It's an education for nursing, education for nurses, as well as the education for the people as well. But we really limit to the health and self-care education for all people in Thailand. So this is our responsibility นะครับ We spoke our contribution for quality education in these two perspectives นะครับ And the last one is a partnership to the goals. We are now work in our development plan, nursing midwifery development plan, through the partnership of ICN, through the partnership of our ASEAN community. We also sit in the ASEAN nursing coordination committee, and which we have a meeting every year, twice a year. So we share our experiences in terms of the education and services in each country to help improving our health, something like that. We also have the partnership with the Sigma Senator International. Time's up. With our partnership in terms of the SDG activities. And this slide just shows that education for nurses in Thailand, we think that our education is at the top level already. And we provide our education as a lifelong career, lifelong education and learning. Our higher education standard and regulation are open up at this time. They give us the curriculum can be transferred from each level to another level with very easy way that the nurse can go quicker in their education than before. We will take this opportunity to revise our educational systems as well for nurses to have more speed, more shorter time to go up to the high level of their education นะคะ And this is just I just put things that have been changes that affect นะคะ our nursing profession practice something, especially for the advancement of the medical and nursing and the challenge about our nature นะคะ especially for global warming and continue to have the NCD นะคะ in Thailand something like that นะคะ so we use this picture to try to initiate our innovation in our nursing education, nursing services and administration as well นะคะ Nurses are in the care coordination in care, so we strengthen especially for partnership with our community to the better health initiative or something like that. In the technology era, we would like nurses to maintain that holistic nursing care. This is empathy and caring and ethical care, and we strengthening them more in this era. And probably this is another thing that we are concerned about the global health consciousness in Thailand. Our Thai people are now conscious about their health, and with the technologies, we should take this opportunity to provide the population, to provide the people education. That I mentioned that we would be the center for health and self-care education for our population in Thailand. And the use of digital technologies will give you that opportunity. And TMC engaged in national health policy, that we are always the forefront of the policy, national health policy in Thailand. But to us, every changes that we will make today, we will see it many years later. It's not that easy, but we commit to do it as for the better of our people health. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Associate Professor Dr. Sujitra Amon for your insightful presentation. All right, now I think we are ready for the panel discussion. Please join me in welcoming our distinguished panelists, Professor Dr. Nofi Sasaki from the Asian Institute of Technology, and Ms. Julada Mitun from the Thailand Professional Qualification Institute. May I please invite both of you on the stage. This session will be moderated by Mr. Sutsiwat Soitong from Eastern Asia University.
Thank you, Dr. Michele. And good morning, participants. Distinguished committee members, distinguished audiences, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this session on the topic of technology and innovation for educational management in the next normal. I am honored to be your moderator for today's discussion. My name is Sutsiwat Soitong, and I will guide our conversation on this important subject. We are privileged to have two keynote speakers today who will share their insights and expertise in the fields of technology, innovation, and educational management. Their combined knowledge and experience will undoubtedly provide valuable perspectives on navigating the evolving landscape of education in the digital age. Our first keynote speaker is Dr. Nopia Sasaki, the Department Head of Natural Resources Management at the Asian Institute of Technologies, or AIT. He will shed light on how technology can be harnessed from AI tools to enhance educational management practices in the next normal. Our second keynote speaker is Ms. Julada Mijun, the Acting Director of the Thailand Professional Qualification Institute, or TPQI. Ms. Mijun is a recognized expert in educational management, and she has been instrumental in driving innovation and quality assurance in professional qualifications. Hence, her experience and insights will provide us with a deeper understanding of how technology and innovation can revolutionize educational management and improve the learning experience. Now, without further ado, please join me in giving a warm round of applause to Dr. Nopia Sasaki and Ms. Julada Mijun for gracing us with their presence and sharing their valuable expertise on this crucial topic. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you very much for the organizer for inviting me to speak today. And because of this, I spent a lot of time to learn ChatGPT. And I want to make sure that what I'm saying today is correct to the best of my knowledge. So before I start, I want to ask a few questions. How many of you know Microsoft? Can you raise your hand? Okay. Yeah, maybe not many. I thought everyone knows Microsoft. Okay. Do you know when the Microsoft was introduced? Do you remember? 1975. Do you know when the Microsoft Excel was introduced? Nobody knows, right? That 1985. But then, do you know when the ChatGPT was introduced? Others, how many of you know ChatGPT? Okay. Okay, somehow we know it. Okay, so today I will try to show you two AI tools that can be used to enhance education. So this one was introduced in November last year. It's just November, not even more year. But everyone has started talking about it. So when we start to discuss about Microsoft Word, when it was introduced in 1983, Excel 1985, and then Microsoft PowerPoint in 1987. And now, just 6 months or so, just less than 1 year, everyone knows about ChatGPT. So again, it started to change. Before Microsoft Word was introduced, everyone writes it all by hand, right? You start with a pen writing it. But after that, your professor started to say, hey, what happened when you start writing with your computers? And now, it goes even level up. So what happened when you just get an idea, give your data, and then you start to put some text, and they start to generate the text for you. Again, this is very challenging, but the speed of moving is much faster than Microsoft itself. Okay? So which means, like it or not, it's just like you are now in the rain. The rain comes. You stay with the rain or you run, but rain comes anyway. So that's why I want to show you how we can make use of these technologies. And that from my own experience, again, I'm trying to learn this myself a lot so that I can speak better today. Okay? So that's two things I will try to talk to you. For one is ChatGPT. The other one is Pictory. How many of you know Pictory? No? Okay. That's good. I can talk everything, right? So I can make mistakes, but you will not know. Okay, the Pictory is very good because you have ChatGPT generate a text for you. Then it can be converted to video, and the video also use AI to generate. Let's say you talk about Bangkok in Thailand. Then the video pop up all the nice animation you want to see. And then they have a narration where you can also talk. You don't even need to speak. They speak everything for you. Okay. Okay, sorry, maybe I talked to my already. So yeah, that's why I want to talk today. So first, after the COVID, you know, everyone understands after the COVID occur. You know, like before COVID, I don't even want to talk to the to the computer because it's so shy to myself. But now it's normal, right? You just go to the Zoom or in the class. Yeah, that's it. And then during the COVID situation, because of the cloud computing, there's a lot of AI thing coming. Before that, we have idea, but we don't have computing power to do it. But now we have it. And that's why the thing moving very fast. Now we have AI that can generate text for you. And then, so the problem is now you have it, everything have it. Professor get it easy now when you know, like in AIT, we need to read a lot of theses every year. And now with ChatGPT, you can look at the thesis, you can understand whether it comes from student, or it comes from AI, because you know, like, you know the level of your student English, and you know that how. If it is too perfect, you start to say, you sure you cannot come from there. But the good thing is, you don't have any more headache in reading. You know, sometimes, this is what you mean, this is what you mean, this is what you mean. But now this thing can be done easily. But the point is, there are only pro and cons, so we need to keep that in mind. So this is other thing that I've been using a lot, especially I use mostly Canva. So how many of you know Canva? Okay, yeah, good. Some, yeah. So Canva is the best tool that we start to use. Actually, I also, in IT, I'm a chair of the sustainability impact ranking and also SDG, about a lot of SDGs. We produce a report once a year and I'm the chair of India. So when we start doing hackathon, we call it sustainability hackathon, we invite students and we start to teach students how to use Canva at the same time. So that's Canvas. And then eventually we have we use our drone also for education, but then we have this ChatGPT. It's very changing, game changing. It's about making things a lot easier. So which means if you publish one paper a year, now you need to publish 3 papers a year. Otherwise, you don't see the value of the ChatGPT. Okay. And so I want to show you today, so that's 5 things I try to test it. So first, can we test rewriting the abstract? Like say, sometimes you write very abstract, but you abstract like 500 words. And then when you submit online, the online said, no, you cannot do it because you are more than the limited. Then ChatGPT say, okay, please do it 200 words. You do it, you make a mistake, you say, no, you make a mistake, do it again. He said, oh, sorry, I made it again. Okay? Yeah, this is an example I showed you. This is what I did. So I asked them to do it. And then I don't count it, but I just look, it's not 200 words. I said, are you sure this is 200 words? He said, oh, sorry, I counted again, and they said, it's 283 words. Now I go to 200 words, right? So that makes your life so easier instead of, but it doesn't always go like that. You need to know, to be able to explain them how to make things better. And sometimes, let's say, sometimes you wrote very nice article, you publish it, but the policymaker don't understand it, so you use all the academic language. Then you ask ChatGPT to tell you, hey, can you write this one for policymakers? And then they start writing it. You look at how they write it in the last sentence. They just they study fine here, there, and this kind of implication for policy here and there. So that also makes things so easy for us to do it. So other thing is you can also look at the conclusion. For example, some journal they require conclusion not more than, let's say, 400 words. And you start writing, you are so excited about it, and you want to submit to that journal, but when you submit, the journal said, no, you are 600 words. Sorry, you need to submit again. And then with this, you use the same thing, you copy and paste it, you say, I want 400 words. Then they start doing it, and if you don't like it, there is a button where you can say regenerate it. Then you click on that, they generate one more time for you. And if you don't like it, so I put several ways of doing it. If you don't like it, you say, no, I need to include several keywords here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then they also change for you. Okay? Yeah. There are many things you can do, but you cannot just use the tool, but you need to tell them what you want. Let's say, this is very good trick, I do it. You read a very good newspaper, you say, now I want to have some content of this newspaper for promotion for my university. You put it there, you say, I want this kind of keyword, click it, they generate nicely. You read it, you don't like it, do it again. Okay. In less than 1 minute, you can get things done. Other thing you can do, so maybe I just go quickly and maybe we want to have more time for discussion. So, yeah, rewriting conclusion I find very easy now to do it, especially when you look at the student cases, you look at it and you say, oh, this is difficult to understand, you put up here, down here. Then you say, please improve the clarity, flow of the conclusions. Look at the title of the paper, can you write again? They start writing nicely. And then you know what if you don't like it, if it is not what it is in the paper, you say, no, this is not in the paper. I never mentioned this one. He said, oh, sorry, I will change. It's really very, very good thing to do. And sometimes you want ideas. You can also do it. For example, I say, I want to study perception of public toward urbanization, for example, or toward lifelong learning. You say, now I want to use like a scale to do it. Can you give me an idea? Then they give you an idea. Now you tell the system, say, I want 10 questions each for each of the criteria that define lifelong learning. They give it to you. And you say, no, I don't like it. Then you say, all right, then give me another one. Okay? So that thing makes things very easy. I thought one thing before I came here, there's one student, she passed an exam in one university, and she was asking, what if the committee asking, what does it mean by low carbon society? And then the AI say, okay, if the committee asks you the question, you answer this. This is how you learn it, but you use it for learning, for improving, for understanding things better, okay? And yeah, so there are many things, but then we come to the question whether the journal accepts it or not. Currently, many publishers are studying it, whether they accept it. Some journals they said no, completely no, but Elsevier doesn't say no yet. But what it said, if you write papers using any AI generating paper, but if you completely use AI to write the content that is wrong, that is not accepted. You have already written 20 page, 30 page, but you want to improve the clarity. It's just like like we are not native English speakers. Usually sometimes when we submit journal to a paper to a big journal, we ask editing company to do it. But now it becomes editing company for you. So that's why you can do things better. So this kind of thing is okay, but if you ask AI to write everything completely and submit to the journal, that is not acceptable. That is ethically violation. So that should be careful with that. And then, okay, one more thing I want to show is about the pictory. Yeah, this is also a good thing that I see a lot. I mean, professor, educator, promotion, marketing officer can use this one for doing many things. For example, if you have club activities and you want to invite, you want to target student at the 4th grade or at the 6th grade or also at 3 or master student, you just write content, ask ChatGPT to do it. Now say, I want to have this club promotions. I want to have 3 minutes. This is the text I wanted. This is the title I wanted. This is the objective. Click it, run it. Then they give it for you. Okay, now the screen number 1, do this. Screen number 2, do this. Screen number 4, do this. So what when you get that? You get that text, bring it back to the pictory. Then the pictory starts to generate this. What you see here is a kind of video that is generated by the pictory based on the content you copy and paste from. Okay, again, you do the ChatGPT, you copy and paste in pictory, and then pictory start to look for video that match with the content. If you don't like it, if you have your own one, replace that with your one. Okay, and then there are, I think, more than 200 narratives. 200 voice there. You can use Indian English, you can use Indonesian English, you can use native English. There are buttons you can click it, and after that you just try to listen to it, and then you can even add music in there. It's up, it depends on your objective. So what I want to say, sometimes you want to have a lecture online, and then you want to teach the student. You want to just sometimes you are on travel. You say now you record your lecture 20 minutes before you go, and then let them listen to it. So that you can use it very, very easy, very convenient way. And I found it very convenient using pictory. So I don't want to speak in a microphone like this. Sometimes when you speak like this, you hear your voice you feel so shy, right? But if you go here, you just do it, you just try to make sure that the content match with your objective, your purpose, and then you let it go. Okay? The other thing, there are also problems that you need to take into consideration. First, all AI tools we have now, they are still new, which means they are trying to collect data and then make error. Okay, because sometimes they just try to get data here from there, and then sometimes they calculate wrong, especially when I ask, who is Nokia Sasaki to myself? Because in the West, Nokia EA is usually referred to girl, right? Female. Then they said, she is here, there. And she is known for this, for this. Then I said, no, Nokia Sasaki, it's not she, it's he. Then he said, oh, I'm sorry. So then they start to look at it again. Okay? So, yeah, so they make some mistake like that. And the ChatGPT we are using now, the free version is 3.5, what do you call it? 3.5 means that the data is only available until 2021. Okay? So which means they cannot understand what happened after that. But the ChatGPT 4.0, which was released in March this year, but only for the upgraded version, they can put it in the real time. Okay, so that makes things also good. But another thing that I found so very big is that the paper citation. If you want to ask them to look for, let's say now your student write paper like this, you say now can you improve this citation? They may suggest you some, but mostly I check it, mostly not correct. Okay, so you need to double check that if you want to do it. Okay, very carefully. And yeah, this is what I said earlier. So if you teach them, they can do better. So the concern from the program perspective is, what if the students, and no student here, I'm not teaching to do this, but what if the students copy and paste the thesis from other students, just change the location? Let's say now I do, the one student do, let's say, perception of the public toward law of our society in Bangkok. And then you change, you tell AI, say, now I want to do similar thing, but change from Bangkok to Chiang Mai. Okay? So that thing might happen. So that is, we need to have a guideline. We need to have a guideline, a policy that makes sure that this thing will not happen. If it happens, if the committee found out, your degree needs to be, what you call it, detract, which means you are not qualified for graduation because you are cheating. So this kind of policy needs to be established because sometimes, let's say you have a lot of students, maybe sometimes you miss one or two of them. Okay? But if this kind of thing happens, we need to have a policy that say, if, let's say after 8 years after graduation, if you found that your thesis are coming purely from generated AI, then you are not eligible for degree. There is a way to detract. Like say sometimes people publish a paper, but they found that the paper has fake data, they detract it from the journal. So this kind of thing should exist. Another thing is about privacy policy, but I think this is very common for other software as well. Let's say you use Facebook, you use TikTok, they collect the data, they store the data anyway. So if you miss the password, if somebody stole your password, they take it. But the problem with AI is that sometimes you ask AI, they say, no, I fought with my girlfriend, like this, and you write that. How can I talk to her tomorrow? Then maybe you do the law like this. So this personal privacy would store in the database, but they did not store it. This company would not use it. But if somebody get into your computer, or if they have a system that use ChatGPT behind it, then they can process those kind of information. So that needs to be very carefully done. But I think there are other things. Let's say nowadays, let's say if your in the future, let's say if your university use ChatGPT for live chatting with the student, let's say you have another question, you don't have time to talk with the student, everyone, then you can have ChatGPT behind it. Put the question there, then you need to make sure that all your data will be stored here and there to make sure that the user are aware of what is going on. Okay, so make sure that they say if they don't like it, they don't need to use it. Okay, so I come back to the conclusion, so maybe I over 2 minutes, sorry. AI become normal really, so what we need to do, we need to face the realities, find a way how to go together. And number two is again, AI tool like Pictory, they are coming. I mean, the video generating, AI, they are coming. They are trying to make sure that you can make use of them to the maximum for your education and research purpose. Okay, and then the ChatGPT become useful, as you can say here. But in the future, again, we are part of the AI, so everything becomes normal. So we just need to face it. We have to make sure that we have a rule. We follow the rule, we follow the ethical guidelines, so that make sure that everyone is fine. So for that, thank you, and I wish you good luck with the AI powered tool. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation, Dr. Sasaki. I hope that this presentation will make an impact for the participants. But one thing that I'd like to say, I mean, the tools such as ChatGPT does help a lot in terms of academic writing, isn't it? I mean, it does help me in terms of writing article researches and or the like. I mean, it is such a helpful tool to use. Are there any questions on the floor? The microphone is prepared for you, near you. Okay. But I have one question for you, sir. All the AI tools that you have mentioned, such as ChatGPT, Bard, Pictory, etc., how do you think such tools will shape the future of educational management while creating an inclusive and equitable quality in education?
There's a questions. Yeah, so I believe the speeds is very fast with the AI tool like this. So I believe that a lot of professors have a lot of work to do in terms of checking whether what the student is doing is really following the guideline, the educator, what you call academic ethical. So then on the positive side, I think professors can focus more on ideas, stimulations, how to provoke the idea, how to encourage the young people to stay on what is the latest trends. With the AI, you can request them, let's say, what is the current trends in nursing education in Thailand? Okay, suggest that. So what are the most demanding topics that need to be addressed in the next 3 years, 4 years? So that becomes easier to do it. Then our job as educators would be to make sure that the students go beyond just copy and paste from the ChatGPT. They're looking in suggesting them the tool, the methodology that they can use. For example, if you want to use Likert scale, here are the questions you should ask, and here are the analysis tool that you should use. You follow all this. For me, it's good to use ChatGPT to do Pictory for educational purpose, but you need to go beyond that, not just copy and paste. Now you already have a very good tool to go forward. Just go beyond that. Just go beyond that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Once again, please give a warm round of applause for Dr. Sasaki, please. Thank you. Now, without further ado, we shall start with our second keynote speaker, which focuses on the navigation of micro-credentials implementation. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sutipat. Good morning, all distinguished participants. Thank you for inviting TPQI as a part of this event. Well, I would rather share with you how TPQI is working right now for lifelong learning and for actually improving skills and knowledge of Thai workers. So by that, we are going through my presentation. So I think we have a bit 10 minutes. So well, there are 2 points I would rather picture out of my presentation. So TPQI is a government agency. we are working under the supervision of our Prime Minister. We don't know yet who's going to be, but we are working under him. And TPQI recognize skills and knowledge of people, of our workforce. We don't actually do certification for the occupations under existing councils. For example, we don't do certification for doctors, nurse, engineer, architect. So we let the councils taking care of those workers. For the rest, we do. So we recognize them by different methods, different means of recognizing. So what we do, we have our own framework. I think all of you may know this framework. In Thailand, we have National Qualification Framework, which is under the Ministry of Education of Thailand. So there are 8 levels. This is the big umbrella of Thailand. So TPQI has our own framework as well. We call it Thailand Professional Qualification Framework, which align completely to the NQF. And right now, our NQF align already to the ASEAN qualification referencing framework, which means that this mechanism would help Thai workforce to have a better and with quality assurance of the mobility of our workforce. So this is only one among other devices that help the mobility and the workforce development in the ASEAN countries. So right now, what TPQI is doing is that when we would like to recognize competencies of the worker, of people, so we do need to have a measurement. So we started from setting the occupational standards with all stakeholders, which means that that could be enterprises, companies, worker, formal, informal education could be involved during the whole process of setting the occupational standard. So we have a very big 3 clusters, which means agriculture, services, and manufacturing. And that could start from a very small occupation, for example, hairdresser in a beauty business, to construction, logistics, supply chain, renewable energy, even real estate industry, for example. So you can have a look in our website, tpqi.go.th. You will have more information about that. So once we have said, there is another competency standards as well. For example, digital literacy, e-commerce literacy, which is a very popular one. As we are facing to the COVID-19, everyone just sits back at their home and then sell things online. So e-commerce literacy became one of the most popular competency standards, and we have some other as well. TPQI is really behind the scene, what we call digital government. We set the standard with the Office of Civil Commission, and we are one of organization that set the digital government standard for them. And right now there are some assessments. So with the occupational standards, we have almost 1,000 occupation standards right now. We are set the occupational standard here in the middle by working with all stakeholders, as I mentioned, according to the national strategy as well. So how we can get used use of our occupational standards, I can bring back to the point is that the standard can be actually used to be our e-training tools. So it's training packages you can find online. You can have access for free. So you will know about the standard. You will know about how the training can offer on the platform. So you can get the certification through the assessment center. Right now we have about 300 assessment centers throughout Thailand. You can actually be our training providers under only one condition, which means that you need to map your curriculum to our standard. So TPQI would like to make sure that the training really map to the need of the labor market. The third part is the companies can get use of our standard to be the in-house training, for example, and then once they train, once they assess in their companies, they can actually ask for our certification. And in the other way is the training package need to be mapped to our occupational standard. So the formal education or even non-informal or informal education can map their short courses to our standard as well. So, and we will facilitate the way that the learner can get certification through the learning process. Last but not least, this is very new. For the worker who has already passed successfully the test from the Ministry of Labor in 20 occupations we recognize, they can actually be recognized by our qualification as well. So they just walk in and ask for the MAP qualification to TPQI, for example. And on the other hand, we are working with the international standard as well. So this is the picture of our certification and the certificate of competency attainment. And the other one is, is an add-on. For example, digital literacy or English proficiency we can get through this. So the point is, all of those can be actually collected. TPQI is creating what we call the micro-credential collection. So by the concept of you learn, you earn, and you get recognized. So I will show you the definition of the European Commission, which is a very good one. You can actually go into the website and learn more. But what TPQI is doing right now is to help whoever from the very beginning age of 15, that the 15 years old, from 15 years old we can actually get into the working platform. So the slide is a bit, it's not PDF, so it's a bit moved. Well, the TPQI is right now responsible for a platform called eWorkforce Ecosystem Platform. The purpose of this platform is for a lifelong learning and a job seeker and job, for the enterprises who look for a worker. They can use this platform. So there are a lot of innovation on this platform. There are e-portfolio. Actually, we encourage people to have the e-portfolio online, and they can get benefits from this e-portfolio by actually applying for endorsed training programs that would actually map to the labor market need. So I won't go into detail, but there is a booth, in front of the hall, so you can get more information about this. The benefit of this is this one. So right now, TPQI is working with a lot of universities a lot of vocational colleges, a lot of private educational institutions to get use of our occupational standard, and they turn it into the curriculum or training courses. What we do is we need to map the curriculum or the training package into our standard and then link the competency-based learning together by our competency credit bank. So TPQI has our own competency credit bank, which we hope that will link. Right now, we are working with some universities, the National Credit Bank ones. So which means that we allow the current workers who actually may be graduated since elementary schools or even in drop off from education to be able to come back to the formal education in a shorter time. They don't need to study for 4 years, but maybe we recognize them as competency they have. The experiences they actually accumulated since years, so they can go in formal education and learn for like 1 year or 1.5 years or 2 years, depending on the subject. So this is the system of the linkage of our competency credit bank to the National Credit Bank one, which under the responsibility of the Ministry of Higher Education, NAC. Right now, for this platform, this is my last slide. The platform is existing right now. You can visit ewe.go.th. There are many services. As TPQI considers ourselves as a services provider, so we have a lot of tools for educational institution, formal or informal or non-formal can get use of that. Worker can be recognized small bite, I would say, bite by bite, and then you can have a real meal at the end of your journey. So this is what we do and offer to all Thai citizens. TPQI is not working only with Thai citizens, but we are working with IOM, ILO for our migrant workers as well. So we do believe that as TPQI is, an organization that we have a vision to develop our worker competitiveness of our workers to be able to at the competitive level globally. So right now we are launching already the website. At the end of this year, we will have an application of EWE, so everyone can actually register to this. You can have all of those credits you have collected since your license, your master degree actually can get in your e-portfolio by actually I do know that all university have trying to have your own digital transcript. So actually the digital transcript will go directly through your e-portfolio at the end. So you don't need to actually ask for those credits from your university in the past, but it will be automatically linked to your e-portfolio. So this is not, it's happening now, but for our future kids, they will have use this application. So the application itself you can actually download, we hope, at the end of this year. So you can have your own profile and you can know the journey of your self-development by using the EWE platform. So I think this is the quickest I can do.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
The end of my presentation.
Thank you, Ms. Julada, for such an informative and interesting presentation. I hope that such endeavors from TPQI can create the equal opportunities in education for formal and non-formal learners. Are there any questions from the floor? Okay, that gorgeous lady over there, please. Thank you.
My name is Viola from the Business Department. Regarding micro-credential discussion point, it seems like non-formal learning can depend a lot on micro-credential options. But can you please tell us the realities and challenging issues when the non-formal learners really enter into the workplace, when they have to compete with the people who graduate from the formal path, when they have to not only compete but work side by side? What going to be their future for their career leverage or their career path development when they have to work in the same place? Thank you.
Well, the question is like, when we talk about the worker, even though they come from the non-formal education or even formal education, it's not about, you need to ask the employers what they do need. Sometimes they, right now they don't even have a look on the degree where actually you graduated from, but what they are interested is really what they can do. They are competent enough to do their job or not? Are they worth to be paid at the level that the employee would like to pay? They prefer paying someone that are competent and match to their need, rather than recruiting someone and lost their time by training again and again. So a person who comes from a non-formal could be a very professional one. Typically, I do believe in that. But we need to open the opportunities for them. For example, as TPQI created this EWE, it's still open to the workers from non-formal learners to have more opportunities for them to learn with the mechanism of our e-coupon system, which is the subsidies from the government, so they can actually ask for subsidies for learning. I think when after 22 years or 20 years, when students from university came out, graduated from university, they are actually facing into the real world of work. And from that, if they are getting into a very good companies, they are fine. They are a human resources system in a big company that would help them to have a career path. But in Thailand, there are not a lot of that big company. DataGrow, SDG, or even, that are the huge companies, CP, they have their own school to their companies. But the rest, 80% of enterprises, they are still need the proper training for this learning. So, answering your question is, they can work side by side, but the informal, the learner who actually not graduated from anywhere, so, at the minimum of the law oblige. So if we offer them the opportunities, they actually, I do believe that they can get more skills and knowledge through, the journey of learning, if they are the platform for them.
Thank you very much for your answer and question from the lady over there. Thank you. Any other more question for Ms. Chubada from the floor? Okay, and that's the end of the panelist discussion. I hope that the presentation from both our keynote speaker will create such an impact in terms of educational management. Thank you very much.